Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Break the Fake, where we debunk fake news and combat false narratives. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and let's get rolling. Well, looks like the Russian soap opera just keeps on getting juicier. The Russian Federal Security Services, or FSB, is expanding its investigation within the Ministry of Defense under Sergei Shoigu, this time targeting corruption allegations. And there's more. The probe into the arrested Deputy Minister Timur Ivanov is now reportedly being extended to another of Shoigu's deputies, Ruslan Sigalov, who reportedly being grilled by the FSB. This latest update comes straight from the British Ministry of Defence's intelligence briefing. Yep, the Brits are keeping a close eye on the drama unfolding in Moscow. So what's the tea, you ask? Well, the report has drawn attention to the ties between Sigalov and Minister Sergei Shoigu. Apparently, the two go way back, having worked together in the past in the Emergency Situations Ministry. They were like two peas in a pod, first serving together in the regional authorities of the Moscow region before making their way to the Ministry of Defense. Now, if you're wondering where Shoigu is amid all this chaos, just keep your eyes peeled during Moscow's grand annual parade of post-Soviet muscle flexing. The rehearsals are already underway, with parade missiles cruising through the streets of Moscow like they own the place. So, grab your popcorn, folks, because it looks like the Kremlin drama is just getting started. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single twist or turn. It seems like Russia's love affair with controversy continues. Sergei Lavrov, Russia's foreign minister, has once again stirred the pot, and this time with some eyebrow-raising comments about Adolf Hitler's supposed Jewish roots. In a recent interview for an Italian television channel, Lavrov was asked about Russia's stance on denazifying Ukraine. You know, despite the country's president Volodymyr Zelensky being Jewish and all. Lavrov's response? He suggested that Hitler himself may have had Jewish ancestry, so Zelensky's Jewish roots did not undermine Putin's position on denazification. Now, if that sounds like a bizarre leap in logic, that's because it is. Lavrov's comments have understandably raised quite a few eyebrows, prompting Israel to summon Russia's ambassador and demand an apology from Moscow. But Lavrov didn't stop there, oh no. He went on to claim that some wise Jewish folks have been saying that the biggest anti-Semites are in fact the Jews themselves. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Lavrov might want to rethink his sources on that one. And now in the midst of all this absurdity, Ukraine is fighting its own battles, both on the front lines and in the realm of information warfare. While Western aid is on the horizon, Russia is using every opportunity to strengthen its propaganda machine. So it's clear that our task is to stand firm both on the front lines and behind the scenes. And as for Lavrov, well, he might want to consider a career in stand-up, because if there's one thing that he's good at, it's kind of being a joke. Alright, let's dive into the murky waters of Russian propaganda for a moment. It's like a house of cards built on the foundation of lies, particularly the tall tale that the Soviet Union valiantly fought against Nazism. But let's not kid ourselves and peel back the layers and take a good look at what those parades featuring both Stalin and Hitler were really about. For Poland, it's not just a blip on the historical radar. It's a searing memory that refuses to fade. When a Pole catches sight of a parade flaunting portraits of Stalin, it's an instant flashback on the grim origins of World War II and Stalin's unsettling dance with Hitler. And let's be clear, the passage of time and the subsequent squabbles between empires haven't washed away those memories. They remain etched in a collective Polish consensus and serve as a stark reminder of the complex and often unsavory alliances of the past. Turning our attention to Belarus and its dictator Alexander Lukashenko. This former collective farm director is like a tsar in his own backyard. Sure, he may be Putin's vessel, but he rules his subjects with an iron fist. Now, get ready for a scene straight out of Lukashenko's playbook. Where's the minister? Find the grain, Lukashenko says, forcing his agriculture minister to inspect the quality and depth of the grain sowing. Now, this is a classic Lukashenko move, making his minister get their hands dirty while he sits back and watches. Just another day in a backwards kingdom, but remember, Lukashenko's world, you don't mess with the harvest, because when the king speaks, everyone listens or else.
Где министр?
Здесь.
Ну ищи зерно. Или ты уже забыл, как ты?
Что же я забыл?
Глубина какая у тебя?
Здесь
Ты помнишь, как это?
Здесь будет до 4 сантиметров.
Ну, 4, 5. Даже тут на легких почвах и 6 вырастет. Ну, нормально.
Нормально расклад.
Идеально.
And today we want to briefly revisit the topic of Ukrainians and mobilization. We've observed various opinions circulating online about this one, and in the upcoming video, for example, Ivan Deki, the head of the National and Arctic Science Center, discussed Ukrainian refugees. He expresses his view that Ukrainians returning from abroad should not have the same voting rights as those currently serving in the military.
Вони там перебувають як українські біженці під час війни, і більша частина має саме статус біженців. Вибачте, російський паспорт це все обнуляє. Тому ні, російські вони не будуть брати. Вони будуть намагатися отримати документи спершу на ПМЖ, там, де вони зараз, в межах Європи, а далі натуралізуватись там. Ну так давай по-чесному, дуже багато хто з них і все одно і так цим займалось. Просто з різним ступенем успішності. І чесно, от я не знаю українською точного відповідника оцього російського скатертю дорожка. Але от хочеться сказати саме так. Ми втратимо якусь кількість наших формальних громадян. Так слава Богу, я не хочу, щоб вони голосували на рівних з нами з тобою. Тим більше я не хочу, щоб вони голосували на рівних з нашими захисниками. Хай вони втратять українське громадянство добровільно, ми їх не позбавляємо. Але ж ті, що будуть саме відмовлятися від громадянства, по-перше, це їхнє право. Ми нікого силоміць в своєму громадянстві не тримаємо. Але таким чином ми втрачаємо виборців, які сама розумієш, за кого і за що будуть голосувати. Вперед, з піснею.
Now, this individual served as a soldier himself in the war in eastern Ukraine. In 2014, he was a deputy platoon commander in a territorial defense battalion before being discharged due to injuries in the summer of that year. That being said, we should still not be discussing refugees in this manner, as we cannot fully understand their experiences. Many Ukrainians lost everything in the early days of the full-scale invasion, their homes and even their relatives. It's really hard for anyone to pass judgment. And keep this in mind, Russian propaganda thrives on creating division, and that stands true regarding this particular issue. And with that, we conclude this edition of Break the Fake, but for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.